Good morning, everybody. Well, it's not, well, for you it might be morning. For us, it's morning right now, so that's all right. We're about to show you how to clean your pumps properly using our Abyzz magic powder. And for doing so, we thought we need a very dirty pump. So most of the customers take really good care of their products, and I don't. That's why I'm using my skimmer pump. And we're going to take this out right now, and then you'll see how dirty it is. We'll show you the inside, and then we'll put in the cleaner. And then we'll show you the inside again and the outside, and you'll see how easy it goes. Pump taken out. As you can see, this pump is just standing in the water roughly up to here. And well, it's been used for almost 2 years now without cleaning it. So you see there's all kinds of gunk sitting on it, and I bet there's also a lot of stuff on the inside that we don't really want to have in the pump in the long run. Anything that you need to clean as well, for example an O-ring, or if you have plumbing that might require cleaning, just use that in the magic powder as well. It'll work fine. So now we have the pump right here, and we're here in our manufacturing department. The following steps you don't need to do. So I just, to make that clear, we're just about to show you what the inside looks like prior to cleaning, but you don't need to do that. So we recommend that you just put the pump as it is in the water. You'll see that later. But just to give you an idea on what you find inside if you don't clean it, we'll just show you this right now. When opening the pump, you may use an electric drill. Just make sure it's on the right setting and it's also turning to the right side. Well, to the left side actually from my view, but meaning to the right side, opening a screw. If you close it, please don't use these because they might apply too much force and then you'll break the plastic, or you might damage the thread. So when closing, use one of those 5mm metric key, and then the Allen key, that's what it's called. And don't use the round side, as this is more likely to damage the screw itself. So please use that side, so then you can apply the proper force, and just don't use an extension for this. So not that much force needed. Just make sure that the plastic closes all the way, but we'll show that later as well. Alright, so this is the inside. You'll see there's a lot of stuff going on there. So it's I mean, you have food leftovers and algae and any kind of critter that doesn't belong here. Plus there might also be calcium buildup or limescale buildup, which we don't see right now because the pump is pretty clean, but still, within the bearing there still might be some limescale buildup. So we're gonna put this back together, and then we're just gonna clean this as it is, completely encapsulated, and then we'll show you what the result will look like. When taking this apart, please make sure to clean your tools after, because these keys will definitely start rusting if you don't clean them with fresh water and then dry them. So when placing the pump inside the designated cleaning bucket, so we are using one of these plastic boxes. They work pretty well with the magic powder. If you're using something else, I can't promise you that the boxes will last, so I always recommend using the Abyzz magic powder for this. When placing the pump, please place it sideways so it doesn't blow the later on to be acid out of the box, but just inside the box. Anything you want to clean with that, you can just place in this box and then it'll work. So now we filled up the box with water. Just make sure that everything is covered with the water already. Make sure that small parts you take out and those you can clean after you've cleaned the pump. You just place them back into the bucket, let them in there for a couple of hours, and then take them out, and then they're going to be clean. And now we've placed this on the side here, and we're going to let this run during our filming day. When you connect it to the driver, just make sure driver is stopped for now, and make sure that the boost mode is disabled. So you will see that on the display scrolling through, or if you enter the menu, just dial down until you find the boost mode and it says boost mode off. That's super important, otherwise the pump might jump to a full speed during your standard program. And then also make sure that you have the pump set to permanent mode, which means there's no wave coming up and down, otherwise the water or the acid would actually spill everywhere. So now it's set to permanent, no boost mode enabled, and now we can let the pump run. The temperature that we chose for the water is roughly 45 to 50 degrees Celsius, so as hot as you can still touch with your hand. So I wouldn't go any higher, because that will lead to a malfunction of the pump, because there's a temperature sensor inside. So just use water that you can still touch. Alright, so prior to adding the magic powder, we need to make sure that the water can't spill. So we're letting the pump run right now at 20%, which for this bucket is absolutely okay. The pump won't flip over, so the acid won't spill out. Please test this before you add the acid, because you know, if the acid is added and then you spill it all around, you don't want to do that. So now everything is running fine. 20% is a pretty good setting. We're going to save the speed and let this run, and now we're going to add the powder. Alright, so we've unpacked our Abyzz magic powder. So you see there's a manual inside. Please read it. The safety data sheet you'll find on our website. The magic powder itself you can find on our web shop or at any good local fish store that carries our products. This cleaner is not diluted with water, so it's a powder, which makes it a very concentrated product. So you can use that for cleaning up to 2, 3, 4, 5 pumps probably, depending on the grade of limescale buildup that you already have. You'll also find some gloves in there to handle your product after you get it into the acid. I also recommend, highly recommend, that you use safety goggles. We can't put those in the box. Please get yourself a pair, because if you spill the acid into your eyes, you really need to go to the doctor then. Alright, so before taking out the pump of the acid bucket, acid bath, please put on your protective gloves. First thing you do, take them out and then rinse the pump off in clear water. You can of course use your sink and then just fresh water from the tap. We just happen to have this little tank standing around, so that's why we're using this for the first cleaning, just to get the acid off. Alright, now that we have taken the pump out and nothing else can happen, you can take smaller parts that still need to be cleaned and put them in the water. Now that we've taken the pump out of the acid and rinsed it off in fresh water, we can now safely take off our gloves and work on the pump. So we'll give this just a little mechanical cleaning with a brush, and then you'll see all the stuff will be gone. We're going to do this in our sink, as we just want to get rid of all the dirt, not to put this on the table, and we'll be right back. So now my dear colleague has given this pump a nice scrub. Obviously, after 2 years of not cleaning, you might need 1 or 2 hours more. So I'd say 4 to 6 hours probably, have that in the acid. If you're doing that on a regular basis, it's just probably an hour or 2. So that should be it. And now that we've cleaned this, we're going to open up the pump and have a look at what the inside looks like. Now that we've cleaned the pump, opening the screws and have a look inside. So you see there's still a lot of organic material on the pump, but as you see, this wipes off really easily. So first option you can have is just leave the pump mounted and closed, put it into a bucket of fresh water and let it run full speed, so it'll eventually rinse itself clean. If you do that in your tank, that would not be the recommended option, as all this stuff will be inside your tank. So if you really want to do it very properly, you just take this out right now, give it a rinse or brush underwater, and then you're good to go. So now that we've opened up the pump, we see there's still this organic material left, but as you see, you can really easily brush this off. So give this a good rinse and some scrubbing, and then you're good to go. If it's really, really dirty, make sure that this opening, which leads to a channel that comes back from the rear bearing, is open. So you can use a straw, for example, to blow into it to check whether there's bubbles coming out. Because if this isn't clean, and your pump gets really stuck, and you don't do that for a couple of years in servicing, can really lead to severe damage or to a very, very long cleaning time, and that's nothing that we want to have. All right, this is what it looks like after brushing and rinsing off. So now we can basically reassemble the pump, and then it's good to go. Abyzz magic powder. You'll find that in our web shop or at every local fish store that is carrying our products. With this you can safely clean our pumps, and they won't be damaged by using that even for a longer time if they're severely, built up with calcium. Just make sure to use all the proper gear that you need to have when you're working with acids. If you have any questions on how to use it or any other questions, please write down in the comments and we'll try to answer you as soon as possible. If you like this type of content, please give us a like and a subscribe on our YouTube channel, and we're looking forward to give you some more video information. Take care, bye bye.